Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we're going to be talking about Lkncy. Before I start the video, guys, please make sure to leave a like on the video below. Subscribe to the channel for more awesome content. Join the family, guys. Let's go on our investor journey together. So today we're going to be talking about Lkncy and why I personally think right now is actually a very good time to pick up Lkncy. As you guys know, Lkncy is a big coffee chain that's based out of China, right? It did get a lot of heat at first. It's basically branded itself as the Starbucks of China, coming out fast, coming out strong. And looking at the 1 year chart, this thing used to be a $50 stock, but unfortunately, Muddy Waters published a research report on Lkncy, basically stating that Lkncy was committing fraud. They were fabricating a lot of their sales, which in turn later turned out to be true. Yes, Lkncy was indeed fabricating their sales. They speculate it's up to 210 million US dollars, but they have not released updated financials, so no one really knows the extent of the fraud itself. It went through a whole delisting process, basically got delisted off NASDAQ, and that's why it currently trades over the counter. If you have Robinhood or you have all these other basically brokerages that don't support over-the-counter stocks, you actually cannot purchase Lkncy. And a lot of people wonder, is Lkncy a good investment? It sank all the way down to about 89 cents, now currently sitting at $5.12. I think right now is a good time to pick up Lkncy, only due to the simple fact that Lkncy is on its way to recovery. Obviously, after the fraud, everyone sold the stock. A lot of big-time investors sold the stock, but Lkncy is working very, very hard to make sure that its brand and its name can be retarnished, making sure that it can basically gain the trust of investors back. You have to understand that Lkncy lied to a lot of investors, basically saying that the company was doing a lot better than it actually was. Lkncy is a big coffee chain, like I said, 6,000 plus stores. I really want to see updated financials to see how the company is actually doing. I don't know if the company is actually profitable or not before the fraud or even after the fraud. I don't know, but I do know that right now they're still making money. They still have their stores open and they're still doing business, which is a good sign for Lkncy. They have 6,000 plus stores, which is a lot of stores, even more than Starbucks in China. They cleaned out the management, basically fired the CEO and stuff like that, and they basically put a lot of new management into place, basically saying that Lkncy and the board of Lkncy saying that they want to rebrand themselves, making sure that everything is up to date. Now Lkncy is working very, very hard to clean its name again and gain the trust of investors back, and this is why I think Lkncy is still a good buy. It's still a big coffee chain. It's still up and running. They haven't declared bankruptcy and stuff like that. I know a lot of people do speculate like, hey, I could never trust Lkncy again. I was invested in Lkncy and I lost a lot of money on Lkncy, and I understand the investor standpoint. Obviously, everything I say in my videos is not financial advice. It's just my personal opinion, but I still think Lkncy is a good investment. Like I said, companies can recover from fraud. Take a look at Wells Fargo. Take a look at GE. Take a look at all these other companies who have committed fraud in the past, and they are still doing just fine. I think what Lkncy right now really needs to do is focus itself on actually basically rebranding itself, gaining the trust of investors back, continue to expand, and basically continue to open stores. As you guys know, Lkncy is currently sitting about at a $1 billion market cap, which is a pretty big market cap. Before, it was sitting around a $5 to $6 billion market cap, so it has taken a big, like I said, a big hit. Obviously, trading over the counter, it doesn't have as much volume, so it doesn't have as much cash to actually expand. Like I said, lost a lot of its investments from its big-time investors, Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, and all these other big-time companies. And a lot of people, are basically wondering why Lkncy is starting to rally. Why is Lkncy starting to go back up when it was once at $1? Now it's currently sitting at $5. I think people are starting to move on from the fraud. I think it's basically Lkncy is starting on a clean slate, basically saying, all right, we're going to start over. Let us prove ourselves to investors, and let us prove ourselves that we are still a big coffee chain who's willing to do business and continue to expand. Like I said, it's a big coffee chain in China. Coffee in China is not as big as it is in the United States, but China does house 1 billion people plus, so it's a big market that's really untapped. And this is the potential for Lkncy to rebrand itself and make its name. I think originally why the fraud was committed in the first place was Lkncy was scared that Starbucks was going to overtake China. Starbucks was expanding very fast. And if you guys don't know, Starbucks expanded very fast here in the United States. I think Lkncy got scared that it was going to do the same. Therefore, it led Lkncy to fabricate a lot of its sales to make basically investors trust it, let people know that it was growing when in reality it wasn't. And that really did hurt the brand of Lkncy. I think what Lkncy needs to do now is rebrand itself and start over. It needs to basically prove to investors that it's willing to, not do fraud anymore. And basically, it's going to start doing things legit from now on and basically prove itself that it's here to do business for a long time. It's here to do business. But, a lot of people still are not bullish on Luckin Coffee, and that's okay. Like I said, everyone's going to have their opinions on Luckin Coffee. I know a lot of people say Luckin Coffee is not a good buy. You should not invest in Luckin Coffee. How could you trust a company that did commit fraud and stuff like that? But for me, I'm looking at the overall vast point of Luckin Coffee, that where could the stock be in 5 to 10 years from now? Like I said, they're still up, they're still doing business, and the stock didn't go anywhere. It's still trading. So this is why I still think that Luckin Coffee has a chance. The path it's taking, it even said that it's rebranding itself. I also want to see the updated financials to see how the company is actually doing and what it needs to work on to grow from here. What can it work on to expand itself to become a better coffee chain in itself? But with that being said, guys, that's all I really have to say about the video. Let me know down in the comment section below, guys, what you think of Luckin Coffee stock. Do you think Luckin Coffee stock is a good buy? Are you guys invested in Luckin Coffee? And if you guys are invested in Luckin Coffee, how many shares do you guys own? And where do you think Luckin Coffee stock price will be in 5 years from now? With that being said, guys, thank you. Have a great day.